you're going into the unknown. You're going into deep waters, because the people who've took ayahuasca before say you see some crazy shit.
Jamesy, how are you, brother?
Chris, my brother, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, it's sensational, mate. You know, trying to work it all out, but
we'll be doing that to the day we die. But you're doing amazing, brother. I'm really proud of you. Really proud of you.
Yes, well, you know, that's a two-way thing, James. For people watching that aren't aware, James very kindly gave me a start on his podcast along with Sean Atwood, a few months ago now.
Yeah.
And as I'm hey, don't work. What they say, don't work with children and animals, mate. And they need to add iPhones to that. Well, I met you, James. You're just a lovely man, a kind man, a genuine person. You've clearly got not just self-respect, but respect for your guests. And it's people like you that are pushing my world and the world for my little boy in a beautiful direction. Yeah. And that needs to be acknowledged, you know?
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that, brother. But like I say, your story was unbelievable anyway, and going through your transition in life and try to make better changes and sacrifices. Change isn't easy, brother, or else everyone would do it. We have seen hell. We have been in hell, not just one time, but multiple occasions, including myself. Both of us have battered addiction issues, mental health issues, probably PSD I've had as well, PTSD. So it's, life is a struggle, and sometimes we can search too much and actually forget to live as well. Because you know yourself, you can go right down the rabbit hole, Chris, but again, where does it take us? We've got to live. Right now is the power of now, brother. It's the present moment to enjoy life and really, really embrace it, because the most valuable currency on this earth is your time. And we need to be careful what way we utilise it and just not search as much, because I was constantly searching, trying to improve, and I was forgetting to live, Chris, where now I'm really embracing life. I'm loving life. I'm enjoying my surroundings. I'm enjoying the people around me. And it's been a hard journey the last 5-6 years, to self-help and read books and educate and try and change the neural pathways, the way I think and feel. And I'm doing it. I'm creating it. As much as we can talk, Chris, we also put it into actions, brother, which is different from the majority of people. I think the majority of people like to just talk but don't do fuck all. We're pushing the boundaries, brother. So we just got to keep chipping away inch by inch, and we'll get the results that we crave.
Mate, it's a bit of a conundrum though, isn't it? Because as I sit here now, and people will hear me say this a lot, I'm in tune with the universe. And I'd say I became enlightened about 20 years ago. You know, that's when my trigger sort of happened. And I've just got everything better and better up here as my life's gone on, to the point now where I can't have an unhappy day. I just can't. I'm losing my words because it's so hard to explain. But what I'm trying to say is, as a person and as in life, I don't want for anything. I don't think there's any answers out there for me. I love this universe with a passion. I don't understand it. I don't pretend I do, and I don't really want to be honest. I don't think there's any need to in this, 100 years that we get on this planet, or 80 years, or probably 60 with all the bloody drugs and alcohol I've done, right? So I'm perfectly content. I get more content when I completely ignore. I mean, I haven't watched TV for 20 years. I'm really proud of that fact. I watch YouTube. I'll watch a program if it relates to the overall agenda in life. And but I'm my most spiritual, my most happiness when I completely ignore it, James, right? But here's the thing. there's some weird stuff going on, isn't there, with respect to controlling our children's future, and it just isn't nice. And I don't know if I'm supposed to go the kind of spiritual way and ignore all that, and just because I've found paradise in my head, I live it every day, right? Or whether that in itself is like a ploy that takes your eye off what's really going on this planet. Do you get the conundrum?
Yeah, of course, mate. There's two sides of the coin. Like, sometimes as human beings, I believe we're all feeling sicky. There's something in your gut that's telling us there's something ain't right. Everything we've been getting fed and told from such a young age has been a lie, I believe. But again, is that me being a conspiracy theorist? Is that me being real? I've just got to understand me and what I feel and what I've been through. Sometimes I feel like getting a house in the middle of the woods, Chris, and just coming off social media and leaving everyone. But how does that create change? How can I change lives? So for me, I believe I've had to went through prisons and drug abuse, drink, gambling abuse. I think I've had to go through all the pain and misery for me to grow as a person. Growth is when you get growth is when you're in your dark places. Growth doesn't come when you're happy all the time. It comes when the shit hits the fan and there's no way to go. That is where you find out who you truly are. And I believe I've made all those sacrifices to be. This is one big game, Chris. The world is just one big illusion, one big game. I believe I had to go through all that shit to now help people. So the stuff that we're doing now, we're doing the homeless work, we're doing suicide work. And I wouldn't have been able to have done that if I didn't go through all my madness, to learn as an individual, to become a better person, to stay humble and realise we're all human beings. Now, it doesn't matter how big your house is, how big your car is, or how much money you have in the bank, because if you ain't happy, Chris, it don't mean shit. Happiness is within. And I've been at the bottom. And now I'm doing well. I'm feeling good. People are giving me a lot of praise. But you still need to be careful as well that it doesn't become self-seeking, that I'm not doing it for the other reasons, just to be getting attention and feeling a bit powerful, because at the end of the day, it is all bullshit. The gift in life is giving, Chris. If you're helping someone, that stuff you cannot buy. That stuff that you cannot receive anywhere else, because that is something that you'll receive within. The world is a beautiful place. There's so much goodness goes on in it. We just don't see that in the mainstream media. Now, kids, I think, by the ages of 7 or 8, have seen over 500,000 murders. 500,000 murders before they're 8 years old through cartoons and films. So if that's feeding into your mindset and your subconscious mind, you're eventually going to end up depressed or feeling the world's a bad place. But the world is such a beautiful place. There's so many good people. There's so much goodness goes on in it. You just don't see it. So for me, if you don't see the goodness in the world, then become good yourself. Become the better person now. A lot of people want change and they protest and they riot. For me, that's backwards. Because if you want to you want change, Chris, I believe you've got to become the change. Become the better person. Understand what's right and what's wrong. And I believe all human beings know what's right and what's wrong. Some people choose one way, some people choose the other. But we ain't monks, Chris. We're always going to make mistakes, brother. I continually make mistakes every single day, but I don't let it stay there. I don't have that. Like if something happened to me today and I was angry, that could play in my mind for a month and I could still speak about it. For now, it's just about accepting it and moving on. Because there's always going to be obstacles, Chris. There's always going to be obstacles, brother. It's just about how we react to them. And people always tell me, you're doing amazing, you're doing this and that. I'm truly in a great place. For the first time in my life, I can say I'm in a great place. I'm drink-free, I'm drug-free, I'm gambling-free. But my demons are still there, Chris. Every day is like a battle in here. But the fact of the matter is that I can handle it better because I'm not lowering my vibration by drinking or taking drugs, because then that depression becomes tenfold and it makes things 100 times worse. You can't handle it better. So then you drink again or you take more fucking drugs. So yeah, it can be a slippery slope, and I still need to be careful, Chris, because I've still got those demons, brother, that I'm one drink away from fucking everything up, and that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, but you'll probably, I hope you'll get like me, James, where you have a drink and you just see it for what it is. I say that because I think part of my strength and my freedom is that I've learned to oh, we're saying we've got internet problems. Hang on. It is like I've learned to get my own mind back, you know, and I get a bit upset when I see people and I can see they've been through the 12-step program and the language that they use about themselves and other people and the makeup that they have about what their situation is compared to what I think it really is, is a barrier to spiritual growth and to the freedom. I mean, I have a drink now. Sometimes I've had probably had 2 drinks this year. The first 5 minutes is the old, oh, and then bang, it's like, this is shit. This is this absolute garbage that I said I didn't really want to do. And I haven't hardly done for the last three years, the vast majority of which has been drinking drug free. And I have that little moment of reckoning and then I go, right, that's it. And I say that because it for me, and I can't talk about anybody else, but for me, it was possible to go from taking drink and drugs every day for 27 years to just going, don't get me wrong, it's a process. Every day of that 27 years, I kind of knew it wasn't really right, if I was honest. I just did it because a lot of time I enjoyed it. A lot of time it served a purpose, but I just think, mate, I don't think you'd have one drink and go back to where you are. I think you'd have it and you'd go, do you know what? And it will get you a bit because it's the devil on your shoulder, isn't it? It will lead you down the road for a day. The next morning you might wake up and have to have hair of the dog because you feel so shit. And I think that's been...
But it's that feeling, Chris. It's that feeling that I don't want anymore. And if I have a drink, I'm getting fucking big bags of Coke. I'm phoning hookers. That's what I have done in the past. So because I'm doing so well, and now there's so many people not rely on me, but they take inspiration from every podcast, no matter who it is, because majority of people are struggling. So they mask that pain with drink and drugs. The reason I took so much drink and drugs back in the day was because I was in so much pain. I had lost countless family members and friends to murder, suicide, overdose. So I masked that pain with drink, drugs, women, gambling, because I was so vulnerable, I was so insecure, but I was always the loudest man in the room, and the loudest man in the room is the weakest. I just thought if I was happy and full of coke and everybody thought I was a great guy, then they wouldn't see that I fucking cried myself to sleep every night. They wouldn't see that I was in pain and I was vulnerable and I was broke down with every relationship I ever had because I had trust issues, I had insecurity issues. But now as I'm getting stronger and stronger, I just don't want to jeopardise that, because that one drink can potentially lead me to 4 or 5 different addictions, because I can just rip the whole ceiling down and open the door. Because there's a thing called, so alcohol, I believe, is from the word ghoul, which is body eating. So spirits is, I think it's like, there was a Egyptian word, like it's called spirits because it's from the word ghoul, it's called, but alcohol's from the word ghoul, which means body eating spirits. That's why they call it spirits. So they say when you drink, some people black out, but they say that's because the soul is so poisoned, it leaves the body and the spirits from the alcohol takes over, and that's why people maybe sleep with people, do things they regret, because the soul leaves the body. That is why they call it spirits. So alcohol is a drug also, I believe. That's the way I see it. I've just seen so many lives destroyed by it. It just scares me that I can't stop, Chris. I can't stop, brother. I just don't stop, mate. I'm at a party for 3-4 days and I have fucked it because I'd stopped for the first time 2 years ago. 6 years ago when I turned 30. Stopped drinking, drugs, gambling, stopped it all. But I had a drink at my auntie's funeral. And that was me back on it for a full year, Chris. Back on the coke, back on the gambling, fucking everything, not really seeing the kids because I thought I was strong enough. So that's always at the back of my mind that I've created such a big platform now with podcasts. I travel the world making documentaries. Now, I would love to sit and go out a beer with someone, have a great night, couple of drinks, have some nice dinner. But the James English that I know ain't going home, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up in a fucking brothel with big bags of gear, just fucking the world, mate. So, and the scary thing is, Chris, it's when you start becoming successful, there's a lot of people waiting in the sidelines, waiting for me to do this. There's a lot of envy out there. There's a lot of jealousy, and I don't really like that side of it when you start doing well because I'm self-made just now. Everything I have created has just been vision, work ethic, and belief. And I just don't want to jeopardise it just now to give people satisfaction also.
James, listen, you keep doing what you're doing because it's obviously, you know, it's not just working in your career, but you're such a lovely man, and you can see in your face the radiance, you know, the energy coming off you is amazing. I think just to clarify, I'm not saying, James, go and have a drink. Absolutely not. I'm just, and also for our listeners at home, I've done the thing that you're talking about, the just one, and then fucking get back on it. But I've done it so many times now that it's lost its power. I've made an idiot of myself so many times in this life that in the end, it becomes easier not to just fucking do that shit. It really just, I've got my family, I've got a great career now, and all that sort of stuff is, anyway.
But that's great that you can do that. I'm just not at that place there where I feel strong enough that I could have a drink, Chris. I just feel as if I know what I'm like, and it's scary to how fast I can slip, and I can slip fast. You're at that place where you are strong. Everything in moderation. I'm not telling people to give up drink and do this and be like me, but what I'm doing works for me. I'm in a great place mentally. Getting up in the morning, I'm taking on life, I'm travelling, just speaking to very interesting people. It's just, I wouldn't do that if I was hungover because I can also be very lazy, Chris. I can be very lazy where I can still get a wee bit of depression and sleep for 1 or 2 days, stay in my bed and eat crap. Those days used to last for months, but now it's like if I have one bad day, I'll just go and have 2 and 3 good days. So it's about, just having more good days than bad. So, life's a powerful thing. I believe you are what you eat, you are what you speak. It's just, I do affirmations every morning where I'll repeat to myself, you are amazing, you are strong, I love myself, every morning. And people used to laugh, Chris, when I done all that shit, but because my platform's getting bigger, now people are asking the question, does that really work?
Yeah.
It's just, your success leaves clues, and
James,
this stuff, if you repeat,
I wouldn't say I do it every day because I've done it enough now that I'm in a good place, you know.
Yeah,
but occasionally, if I ever have any kind of wobble in my mind, it's right, immediate self-love. You know, you live by, you know, I live by my morals as much as we can in this, you know, the constraints of our society. Everything you're doing is brilliant.
Yeah, just want to stay focused, mate, and I just don't want to jeopardise my vibration or my frequency by putting stuff in externally that takes me away from my conscience, frame of mind. And I know my method of thinking, mate, and I know how, as much as people saying you're strong because you've made changes, I also know how weak I can be, Chris. And life is good. I'm in a position where I can make changes now. People are starting to listen, and that's a beautiful place to be an influencer, but in the right way, because you can be an influencer, you can be under influence of drink driving. Do you know what I mean? It can be wrong, there's a lot of influence out there, I believe, that influence people in the wrong way. I'm just trying to do it in the right way and show people that making the same mistakes I did is only a life of misery and pain.
It's really, I heard you mention this vibration thing quite a while back. And it's not a new concept to me, but it's the first time I heard anyone say lower my vibration, right? And that is exactly why I choose mostly not to drink. James, I think I said this on the podcast. I'm not a never say never guy. I've never made any rules in my life in any fucking areas, really.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like pigeonholed in any, you know, I don't like names. I don't like the stigma that goes with mental health, all this sort of stuff. But what you said really helped me, because when I have had a drink, immediately you lose that vibration. You think it's going to make you happy, and whereas ordinarily, like, I feel like I'm up here.
Yeah.
You can be drunk and like you're here and you can't get past it until you've got that poison out of your system. You can't get back to a genuine, to a genuine high and a genuine happiness. So,
yeah, that's the scary thing, and that's where my frequency and vibration is so high. I'm attracting so many positive things into my life, and I believe alcohol's glorified, very glorified drugs. It's in every second shop, Chris. In fact, nearly every shop. You've even got hairdressers that give you it, and everywhere's giving you a glass of wine or offering you a beer. And listen, it's just socially acceptable. What people need to understand is that the majority of people drink on a Saturday night because it takes them away from their pain. It takes them away from their reality. And that bottle of wine every Saturday night turns into a bottle of wine every night. So it can slip fast because people don't like the life they're in. So unless you make the changes naturally, then you ain't going to make the changes with sitting with a bottle of wine. Yes, it may take you away from the pain and misery that you're feeling in your thoughts for that 2-3 hours. But for the 3 days after that, where you're feeling low, you're eating crap, for me, I just want to do things naturally and feel good and do things right, because I don't know, every time I was hungover, man, it was 2 and 3 days in my bed, Chris, it was painful. It was painful because my method, I think, was already painful if I was sober, but the alcohol just made it real. The pain and the thoughts that I had became real. They're just so real, and I felt so weak. Now I'm strong that nothing can faze me. I could run through a fucking brick wall just now, and I don't want to jeopardise that with having a drink, and then it turns to drugs, and then I'm cheating on girls, and then I'm shagging everything, and before you know it, half of Glasgow's pregnant again. And it's I'm in a good place, and it works for me. I'm not saying everybody, I don't want to be a preacher and say this is the way forward, but look at my results. It's clearly it's something in that method.
Mate, I think it would work for everyone if they just tried it. I mean, if I can just say it for people who are listening or watching who might have problem with alcohol, I get asked this a lot, Chris, what do I do? And I say, oh, hang on, now it's my screen's going blank. Hang on. It's the same thing. Nothing worked for me until I did 1 year with no beer, right? It's actually a mate of mine from the Marines said to me, he said, Chris, they're all doing this 1 year no beer now, aren't they, right? And he's talking about people like Ollie Ollerton off the SAS program and you know, other colleagues, former colleagues of ours. Anyway, me being an idiot, I thought it was just like a hashtag. I'm doing 1 year no beer, right? So I went, all right, I'll give that a go. And I'd been meaning to do it for years, James, you know, procrastinating, wondering what my full potential in life would be and how would my career blossom if I just had a year with no drink, and just to see, you know. So idiot here went and did 1 year with no beer. I got about halfway through it and I found out, no, 1 year no beer is an actual organization. And they're really good. You sign up for a 90-day challenge or a 6-month challenge, and many people do the whole year with no alcohol. And I've never heard a bad thing about it, right? I'm not going to say everybody succeeds because, you know, it's like the devil on your shoulder, isn't it? But so but irregardless of the fact that I got it wrong, by the time I got to the end of the 1 year, I was like you, mate. I've started doing my second year. You know?
Yeah.
The only reason I had a drink at the end of that second year is I was running the length of Britain, and I got what we call a shin splint in my right leg, so a stress fracture, and I was in so much pain, but I refused to give up, Jim. You know, I told everyone I'm running the length of country, and that's it. So I had a tot of rum, and it sorted me right out. It sorted my pain right out. Okay, and that was the only thing that had interrupted the 2 years. You know. Anyway, I'm waffling a bit, but yeah. Anyone watching, commit to doing a year, because if you don't give your fucking head that thinking space and give your life that lovely experience of being drink and drug free, you've got nothing to relate to. You try to cut down on a Thursday, or not drink on a Sunday, or only drink on a day with a Y in it. You're really gonna, you know, your triggers in your head are all just still there, and
it's that. But again, if people stay off drinking drugs for a week or two, they feel great. So obviously, then they think I could go a drink. But can you imagine if you stayed off it for a full year for the rest of your life? And that's a big commitment for anybody watching or listening. But I'm over a year again, and life is amazing. Life feels great. I'm doing massive things, and this helps a lot. And people who are struggling, it does make things worse. And even maybe giving yourself, staying off it for 7 days or 30 days, and writing down how you feel. Writing down how you feel. Even when you take cocaine, it's the dopamine levels in your brain don't come back to a natural state till 3 to 6 months later. So your mind's still fucked for 3 to 6 months later, and people don't give that much rest time within that, because the majority of people I surrounded with was every weekend, including myself, for maybe over 10 years. So that's scary what that did to the brain and the mindset. So no wonder I was depressed. No wonder I was attracting the wrong people into my life. All my ex-girlfriends were crazy. Why? Because I was fucking crazy. I was crazy. Why anybody would accept me when I had addiction issues would mind fuck me. And that would make me feel, well, you must be weak as well, that you can accept someone who's out for 3 and 4 days, gambling all the money, stealing, lying, cheating. It's but now I've become a better person. My circle is very small. It's very strong. Yeah, and I believe I can change the world. I believe I can make mass changes to give people inspiration and hope. So I need to do the things that nobody else, not many other people can. And that's distance myself from all negativity. Meditate, breathing techniques. I do cold water exposure. Yeah, and life's really good at the moment, Chris. I'm fucking loving it. I'm loving it. Good. Listen, I still have my moments where I can't be asked getting out of bed, but I'll push out and I'll go a walk. I'll go over my affirmations, and it flips the mindset. And like you said earlier, you're in a place where if you're feeling negative, you change that. And the power of the brain is we create all these thoughts, Chris, but also the beauty of life is we can also destroy them. And that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's funny, actually. I woke up this morning, and do you ever find, because of the nature of what we do, and obviously you do it on a much bigger scale than I do, having obviously such a successful podcast, the links of which, folks, I'll put below this video. But do you ever get cluttered, not just like in your office with paper stuff, notes there and
yeah,
but sometimes I almost get incapacitated with too much stuff to do, and I don't know if to start here. This morning I woke up with well, yesterday was like that, right? And then you have somebody say something at the end of that day that leads you onto a negative, and you can just go, ugh. So this morning I'm like up 5 o'clock, headphones on, ran about 1.5 miles, plenty enough for me, right? come back, warm shower, and then just crank it on cold at the end and try and stay there as long as, it's not too bad in the summer, but you know, stay there as long. And I'm like that, mate. Just everything's just awesome again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to do that. Exercise is key, Chris. Exercise is key. I don't care if you're 7 stone to 20 stone, whether it's running a mile or 10 miles, even walking upstairs, or exercise is key. You must get out the house, because if you're in the house 24/7, if you're watching TV, I can guarantee you right now, those people ain't happy. You're watching other people live their lives. You're not doing fuck all with yours, and everybody has got massive potential to create mass changes. And it's scary how much potential everyone has. Everything is limitless. It is scary how far you can go in life with belief, but you ain't going to have that belief if you're doing negative stuff. If you're constant, the TV is called a program for a reason. It is programming your mind to see the world the way they want you to see it. But if you actually step out your comfort zone, walk around nature, and actually see the beauty, your mind feels different. You act different. You see things differently. And something when I'm running in the mountains, Chris, it does something to my mindset. It does something to my belief, my confidence that no drug or no drink in this world can never do for me. So nature, exercise, and eating right as well is massive important. The gut's connected to your brain, Chris. It's made of the same material. That's why when people say, oh, I had a gut feeling, it's your second brain. It's telling you, your intuition. And a lot of people don't go with that. Like, you can meet someone, your gut feeling saying that they're fucking wronging, but you kind of just go with it anyway. Your intuition and your gut's such a powerful tool. Utilise it. Utilise it to your advantage. And that becomes stronger when you're actually in a clean, healthy living in a good state as well.
James, can we peel back a bit to, I think society's starting to realise now, slowly, the damage trauma does to people.
Yeah.
We now know things like trauma is a big driver behind addiction in later life and this sort of stuff. How was it for you growing up?
My childhood, I grew up in a very rough area called Posso. Stealing a lot of stolen cars, a lot of people who had addiction issues, sleeping in the close. It was a very, very tough area. One of the toughest in Glasgow, probably one of the toughest in the UK, Chris. Really, really tough. It was like a big, loads of houses round each other. It was like everyone was struggling. Some amazing people there, but you become a product to your environment, and there was a lot of violence. So, yeah, my mum and dad, amazing people. They did what they could. They struggled the majority of the time, raising 2 kids. We moved, it was a place called Stonyhurst Street, but we moved 100 yards away to a place called Clarence Street. Yeah, I seen a lot of bad shit, stuff that I shouldn't have. But I ended up playing football. I was a great footballer from the ages of 11 to about 18. I went to sign for a club in Scotland called Hibs. But I was a Jack the lad, Chris. I thought I knew everything. I was very good looking, funny. So I had the gift of the gab. I used to tell all the girls I played for the first team. I was only playing for the under-18s. And yeah, my dad was a bouncer in a nightclub, a very popular nightclub in Glasgow. So I was going to this nightclub, Chris, at 15 and 16 years old. I used to walk down to the front of the queue. Thought I was the man. I was only just a stupid kid. I got involved with a lot of older people, some serious people, and then that's when the drugs started, Chris. That's when the gambling addiction started, the womanising. So, but they do say 70% of addiction comes from childhood trauma, and I did see a lot of bad shit that kids shouldn't see, but that's life. And again, if I didn't go through all that journey, Chris, I wouldn't be where I am today. But yeah, life was good. But from the ages of 23, I was in prison. I got 6 months in a place called Berlin in Glasgow for driving offences. Stupid charge. End up meeting some good friends in there. Scared at 23 going to the big boys jail. But then when you're actually in there, I realised I knew everyone, and it became like just a big holiday camp. And then I came out, my dad died, friends get murdered, family members get murdered. I had 2 girls pregnant at the same time. I was bang on the coke at that time, gambling. So my life slipped fast to the early 20s, Chris, and that's where that period from early 20s to the ages of 30, my life was a fucking mess. My head was all over the place. But yet, I could mask my pain, Chris, because I still wear nice suits. I would have a good tan. People couldn't see through the fakeness because I masked it so well. And I'm still, even because I was a gambler as well, Chris, I was a very good liar. Because the thing with gambling, I call it the hidden addiction. You don't really see that. You get angry and upset, but people go, why is he so angry? It's because maybe you lost your money. I was pawning the kids' iPads, my jewellery, and I was doing bad shit to get money, Chris. So it was like just defeating the purpose. It was like one slippery slope, and turned 30, Chris, and I realised I've got greatness in me. Even when I started parties, Chris, for 3 and 4 days, I used to look around and go, what the fuck am I doing with my life? What is this what I've got to offer? And other people, it felt normal. For me, it never felt normal. And I used to always say, you know what, I'm still going to be something, because I had the potential at the football. I fucked that. But I always knew that I still had greatness. I always knew that there was something better coming. I still believed that, even in my darker days. And at 30, I stayed with my sister and I wrote everything down that I needed to change. Stop becoming a liar, stop the drink, stop the drugs, stop gambling. And slowly but surely, I'd done that, Chris, for 2 years. I'd done that and made the changes. Life was great. I was strong enough. I was actually going to do motivational speaking. And then I fucked it. I had a drink and then I ripped the whole ceiling down. Every addiction that I stopped came back through the door within a week. Within a week of having that drink. And then I'm back on this path for the last 3 years. I've had my obstacles along the way and I've had my speed bumps, Chris. I've had 3 drinks maybe in the last 2 or 3 years. But every time I've had a drink, Chris, I've been on the coke for 2 or 3 days. So that's why I know that I'm not at a place where I can tempt fate. And because as soon as I have one beer, Chris, there's something comes over me, man. There's something comes over me that I'm ready to fuck shit up. And it's a great feeling being drunk. It's an amazing feeling because here, your pain stops here. It takes you away from whatever misery you're thinking for those hours. So my problem is I don't want to stop because up here is like a fun place to be, daft and carry on. But then when that stops, then the depression kicks in for a week or two. So, yeah, that was kind of my journey. There's a lot more to it, which I'll get into more detail, obviously, another time. But, yeah, I've been through a lot of shit, a lot of dark stuff, even when I interview gangsters and stuff. I see a lot of vulnerability in the toughest men in Britain because you'll tend to see they were abused or bullied when they're younger. That becomes a defence mechanism where it's holding a gun or a knife to protect themselves because they're so weak, Chris. They're vulnerable. So that knife and gun is their comfort blanket where if I hold this, you won't harm me anymore. So I see through all this. I never glorify gangsters. I always talk about the misery because there's always victims, Chris. But every podcast I do is therapy for me. Even speaking to you, brother, this is therapy for us because we'll pick up little golden nuggets and go, wait a minute, yeah, that makes sense. And that's the beauty of doing these shows, Chris. And that's how I always say I'm proud of you. I always share your stuff. And it's not a competition by other podcasters, including Sean Atwood, who's a brother, man. And we're always in contact. And there's no competition there. It's just pure love and try to help each other because you can have a better life from it. Sean can, I can. And anybody always asks, I'm going to start a podcast, I'll give them the tools and techniques that I do. The thing is, Chris, this ain't an easy gig. This ain't easy to sit for an hour and 2 hours shooting the shit with no really any questions sitting on front of you. It's just pure belief in that we want to create better. And it's a beautiful thing, mate. And this is why I always say I'm proud of you, brother.
Do you know, I never write questions. Have you noticed that people, say from my generation, so people in their 50s, they come on a podcast and they think it's an interview. Do you get this?
Yeah.
I've had people go, he talked all the way through it. And I'm like,
yeah.
And to that, oh, lost you again there. To that end, I don't like writing questions down. With you, I've actually written like 9 questions.
Yeah.
But simply because this is my golden chance to ask you these things that not just my audience will want to know, but I want to know, James. You're such an inspirational man. What you said brings us on nicely to your excellent ayahuasca documentary. I watched it. I watched the premiere. It actually chopped me in half, because on the one hand, I was caught up in that beautiful spirituality of being in Costa Rica with lovely people who were all very kind. You had your Hawaiian shirt on, and I love that tropical feel. You know, obviously you've spent a lot of time in the tropics. That tropical, that warm evening kind of feeling. And then, what was the thing that got me? Yeah, the thing that got me is that, like, I don't know what that experience would conjure up in me. I'm probably almost a bit fearful of exposing some of the stupid shit I've done in my life, you know. I'm not in regret of it. It's all just, to me, it's all just experience. It's just that other people probably aren't ready to hear it, mate, you know. But to go back to the beginning, ayahuasca is a plant medicine. It's been used for probably thousands of years, or probably hundreds of thousands of years, by indigenous communities. From people that I've had on my podcast, it seems to give you the answers that are blocking you in life. And you actually ask the spirit god for what you want before you take this medicine. So my question, James, is what did you want from it?
I wanted to heal. I wanted to forgive my enemies. I wanted to forgive the people who hurt me. And I wanted to, forgiveness was key, because I felt that was holding me back. I had a lot of resentment towards some people for many years. And I also wanted to learn how to trust, Chris. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone, and that's sad thing to be in life, that you can't totally surrender to someone. All my relationships with girls break down because there comes a stage where I start getting paranoid and I don't trust them. But that's partially because the shit that I'd done in the past. So I wanted to just, the opportunity was presented with me with a boy called Cash, and he said he's seen my other homeless documentary and he wanted me to go over there and do a documentary, and I agreed to it. I was also sceptical because, like I said earlier, anything that you take from a conscience, anything that you take externally and takes you away from a conscious frame of mind is a drug. And it just got me excited. The more I researched and the more I seen people, and everyone just looked enlightened. They looked like light warriors who wanted more out of life. As human beings, Chris, we're always searching. I was going in a really good place. I was still drinking, drug and gambling free, and I was still doing my podcasts, and life was good. And yeah, and people, they says, and I watched a lot of videos, and it made sense. It did really make sense. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it. Went over there, and the people were amazing. The food was amazing. This is only a resort in the world where it's medical licensed, so that made me feel a bit safer, because I've read up people can die, but that's people who's given serious mental health issues. But it was medical licensed in Costa Rica. There was an opportunity of a lifetime. I ain't going to turn that down. Obviously, people who've got drug addictions in the past that changed their life are saying you can't do that, it's a drug, this and that. But I wasn't listening. Once I've made my mind up on something, Chris, there's no going back. And I'm glad I did it. It was an experience. When you first go there, everybody welcomes you with open arms. You're speaking with people who were heroin addicts, who had cancer, who were suicidal, who still had the rope marks in their neck. And they were willing to try one last thing before ending their life, basically, some people. And listen, a year later, Chris, they say it's the shortcut to happiness, ayahuasca. They say it reconnects you with your soul. They say with the DMT that's in it, the brain releases DMT, the body releases DMT. All the shit, all the demons you have and I have, we store all that in the back. The brain stores everything. no matter it's good or bad. This is why karma in life is so important, because if you do bad shit, no matter how much you block it out and think it's not there, it will come back tenfold.
Yeah.
So they say when you drink ayahuasca, it's like 10, 20 years of therapy all in these 4 days. And when I drank my first cup, I felt, okay, this is shit. This is hocus pocus. This is a cult. This is bullshit. They send you up for a second cup. Drank the second cup, Chris, and then boom, shit got real. The roof opened. I seen family members. I seen pain. I seen fire. I was in hell for 3 days. The shamans were working on me non-stop, mate. Working on me non-stop, doing Reiki, spitting shit on us and wiping my back down, my heart down. They're saying you've got such a strong heart. Go towards the pain. But I am shitting myself. Not literally, but there were people shitting themselves there. When you drink ayahuasca, people are shitting themselves, laughing, screaming. I was terrified. And they tell you to surrender, because if you don't go towards the pain, then you ain't going to face them. So I had to keep closing my eyes and fighting through the pain. It was just fire. It was like screams, Chris. But they say you don't just sort the trauma out in this life, but also past lives, Chris. And I kind of believe all that. And whether it's true or not, I believe that. And the placebo effect can kick into play, Chris, before you go, where you tell your mind that you're going to cure and you're going to fix things. And because 1/3 of people on medication actually cure themselves by the power of the brain, with the placebo effect, by tricking the brain and saying that they're going to be cured by the medication that they're getting. Yeah, and I did the 4 nights. I laughed a lot. They called me the laughing Scotsman over there, because all I did was laugh. If I go to a funeral, Chris, or someone passes away, I'll laugh. Even though I'm breaking my heart, but I'll laugh, because that's been my defence mechanism. If I go through pain and misery, if I go through a breakup, I'll laugh. It's okay. The mask comes on. But now I've learned to deal with pain. I've learned to accept pain, because I believe accepting it is when you can release it. So it's now accept my demons, accept my pain, accept my struggles, accept that I'm a human being who makes mistakes. And with the ayahuasca, I felt, yeah, I'm still unsure. I'm not a ambassador for it, for people to go and take it. But the people who did take it, Chris, are still in a great place 1 year later. I'm in a great place. Maybe there is some truth to it. But again, if you don't think it's your calling, people are scared of it, then don't do it. It's a plant medicine mixed with plants and like twigs, and you drink it. It tastes like shit. Yeah, I'm glad I did it. Amazing experience, and I would probably do it again, Chris. I'd probably do it again, even though I'm still wary and still get trust issues. But what a powerful experience.
Okay, what I'd like to ask you, James, is I don't think we talked about this, but my best friend died when we took acid together. He completely lost the plot. He was uncontrollable, and he ended up drowning in the lake that we were camped next to, right? And historically, like, I've had a couple of really bad experiences tripping, you'd say.
Yeah.
The archetypal bad trip, right? And what I'm trying to get at is how is the trip with ayahuasca compared to, say, mushrooms or acid, this kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like you're dealing with your pain, Chris. So what you're saying there, this is the kind of shit that you deal with. You will go back into that moment and realise it wasn't your fault. This is just the journey of life. And like I said before, I've lost countless people to murder, and I fucking seen them, Chris, because in the back of your mind, it's like you have regret, you have pain, and you see them, and what happens is it kind of detaches you from the emotion and the feeling. So even you speaking about that, the brain's such a powerful thing that if we think about trauma 10 or 20 years ago, the worst day of your life, the brain releases a chemical to the trauma you had felt that day. The brain doesn't know what's real or what's fake. So if you think about something 20 years ago, the brain releases a chemical to that emotion. With ayahuasca, it detaches it. So when I think about the pain, I don't get down anymore. I don't feel the poison rushing through me and the anger. And I believe ayahuasca really helped with that. You don't need to drink the full cup. There's some people only had half a cup. But James, the guy who's got addiction issues, I had fucking 3 cups, Chris, and I was chasing it, man. I was chasing it. I was actually, at times, I was enjoying the pain, because sometimes you would sit up and you would see everyone, and you can see people's aura, and this might sound crazy to people, but you can see the energy vibrating off people. And see, when I'm outside, you look at the stars, Chris, and you could touch them. I swear to God, mate, you could touch them. And there was a friend called Olivier from Switzerland, who became amazing friends, and we speak nearly every day now. And when we looked at the stars, it was the most blissful thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was like I'd come home. It was such a powerful experience, and I was still questioning it, because it felt like a trip. Just felt like a drug. But then I've got to look back and think, well, my life's still in a great place. I'm thinking better. I'm more clearer. I'm eating cleaner. I'm talking cleaner. So maybe it is. That's still my trust issues. That I thought the guy, Jerry Powell, who runs it, sold his company for 100 million. He had private planes. He had all the girls in the world. But was suicidal, Chris. He did ayahuasca, and it gave him his purpose, and now he's got this resort. And it's a powerful resort. Even when you walk into it, you just know, right, I'm going to get changes here. And the people I'd met from all around the world, from Brazil, Colombia, Switzerland, Russia, Poland, everybody's searching. And these are just, you do your yoga, and it's vegan food, and everything's just amazing people. And I don't know, man, the trip it's a wild trip. It's the biggest trip I've ever been on in my life, Chris. But you can take half a cup, a full cup, 2 cups, 3 cups. You can take what you want to how you're feeling. But again, you're like me, you'll be taking 2 and 3 cups, because they say the more you take, the more it works through your system and eliminates it. But the thing Jerry Powell said that scared the shit out of me, Chris, see, when you take it, sometimes you can't close your mouth. He says the first 6 years of your life, you store trauma in your gums. Your gums are the most polluted place in your jawline with the bloodstream. So he says that's the entities coming down and cutting out the pain and the trauma of the first 6 years of your life. Painful, but because you can't close your mouth. It's fucking weird, Chris. It is weird. Would you try it? Would you do it?
I give anything a go. I don't think it's like I say, mate. I don't make any rules on my life, James. I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I think I said this to you earlier, though, is like, I think I've got all my answers in life. I would love to know if there's anything like I'm missing, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe go around like a Hoover and just clean out some of the trauma. I mean, you said it earlier. Trauma is something you deal with every day. I deal with it every day, physically, mentally, spiritually. But I think I've done like a really good fucking job.
Because, you have, man. Yeah.
Well, it's been a long journey, and it's been a lot of travel, both physically and mentally. It's been a lot of experimentation, but you know, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if it's better, if there's a better place I can get to than what I'm in now, because I think I'm in paradise, right?
Yeah.
If you ask me, do I want to go and do a trip, just because it
Curious.
Well, it's a journey, isn't it? You know, when Lee died, this is going to sound crazy, that was one of the best nights of my life.
Wake up call.
Incredible, right? And I'm not talking about my fucking mate dying was incredible. That was like one of the most
worst.
Yeah, the biggest. One of, a bit like yourself, mate. I've known a lot of people die now, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't know which one rates where, but your best mate fucking drowning is just, it's,
Yeah.
you know, not good, you know, not good. But the irony, James, the irony is that, I mean, just a quick like synopsis. We went to a massive festival in Portugal, right? It was a psytrance one, which wasn't really my thing, but I thought my mate wanted to go, and he's my mate, and we've always done road trips together, so I'll go with him, right? We drove down there. On the first night, some guy shuffles up to us and goes, "Liquid acid, guys." And I was like, I'm honestly not that bothered, but I've got that curious personality and the bit of the addictive personality that I generally don't say no, right? And I looked at Lee and went, "Have you had some?" And he gave that fucking face that we all know too well, right? So I went, "All right then, all right." And I held my hand out, and he got this dropper, and he literally drenched my hand. I asked for like one drop. He drenched it was dripping off my hand, right? So immediately that's all gone into my bloodstream, yeah? And I just went like that. I dabbed it. We had a third mate who just grabbed my hand, and he just licked all the rest of it off because he was a bit of a sort of monster for this. Anyway, cut long story short, back at the party, a dance tent, dancing away. It was just a really great night. And next thing I knew, mate, I'd gone unconscious. Bang, like that, which isn't really a reaction you get when tripping. I get that, right? But we did. Me and Lee both hit the deck unconscious. And when we woke up, it was literally like waking up on an alien landscape, like on Mars. I knew something wasn't right. And I was trying to get my bearings, but you know, this is liquid acid. You're in a full-on trip, full on.
Yeah.
You know, you got no grasp on your previous reality. Other than the fact I kind of knew we'd gone to a festival and I'm on rocks, right? And I'm on rocks. I'm thinking these rocks is by the lakeside. And I heard this murmur and I said, "Lee, you all right, man?" He said, "No, Chris, I'm not. I said, "Come on, mate, let's get back to the tent." Right. And I thought if I can get us back to the tent, it's all going to be cool, right? Anyway, cut long story short, next thing I knew, mate, we were back up at this dance tent again. Not our camping tent, but the dance tent. And like, once that initial like bad trip had passed, which is normally unusual because when you're on a bad trip, it's with you right to the end, you know. Once that bit had passed, fuck me, mate, I just entered like a heaven. It was unreal. The people were great. People coming up, you know, chatting to you. Everybody visually just looks so handsome and beautiful, and of course it's this idyllic lakeside setting. But you know, cut long story short, Lee was having problems. You know, he's having problems, and I'm trying to control him and calm him down, and he was just like running up and smacking into, you know, taking people out.
Yeah.
And all these people, these kind of hippie psytrance kind of crowd were like, "Whoa, what's this fucking dude doing?" And I won't go into details, but it got really messy, mate, really messy, to the point where I went to get help. And it was in that moment when he'd obviously gone for a swim and drowned. But take that out the equation, this experience was incredible, mate. It was utterly, it was just, I'm not advocating anyone take drugs or whatever, not at all. I'm talking about me, my life now. This thing that I went through was just, I couldn't really put it into words.
Yeah. But they say, see, the power of the mind, as they say, we can get to those states, Chris, by meditation and breathing techniques. We can get to higher states from really quieten the mind down. I think the Kundalini yoga and Kundalini stuff is supposed to be powerful, where you can get to higher states from naturally meditation, breathing. I've not had the experience myself, but bless me. But I believe that the coronavirus, bro. I just think that you can. That's the thing about the power of the mind. The mind can take you to places within. Other obviously external stuff can enhance that and take you to places where you think this is amazing, this is heaven, but it doesn't last. Do you know what I mean? What goes up always comes down, and that's the thing with taking stuff externally. But yeah, ayahuasca it's an amazing experience. It's the best thing I've took ever.
But
it was a painful experience.
James, is it like what I've just described? This is what I'm trying to get. What I mean.
No, yours was more. Yeah, yours was more blissful. I was in pain. There was people there who were enjoying the ride. There was people there that were seeing spirit gods and talking to other entities and aliens. Mate, I was in fucking hell. I was in flames and fire. It's like I couldn't leave my mattress because the flames. It's like you're staying here. You're facing your pain, and you ain't going anywhere. And there was people dancing, loving life. I was looking at them envious because I'm thinking, fuck me, man. I was in so much pain, screaming, and yeah, I was in hell for 3 nights. The 4th night was easy. I slept most of the 4th night. The 4th night last 12 hours. But yeah, I was in pain, mate. So the ayahuasca, it lasts 8 hours. People smoke DMT, which lasts 15 minutes. It just felt spiritual place. A lot of people who's not on that journey won't understand it, but you understand it, that as human beings, we crave more. We want more. There's more out there. We're nosy. We're nosy people. We're nosy humans. We just want to know if there's other people in this earth, aliens, or who's controlling it. We're here for a reason. Someone's created us. Someone's created us, the way the heart functions, the liver, the kidneys, the way we do the toilet, the way we talk, the way we communicate. Somebody's created us. Something has put us here. What is the reason? I don't know. We'll be searching till the day we die, probably. But I believe kindness is key. I believe if you're kind to others, then I believe you're winning in life. Kindness is a beautiful thing. If you can be kind to others and help yourself along the way. Now, people judge ayahuasca, people judge your story, Chris, they'll judge my story. But again, we're brave enough to put our hands up and admit our mistakes. We're brave enough to admit the shit that we went through and still be here to tell the tale. As long as we've got air in our lungs, Chris, we've got so much more to give. And I'm here to leave a legacy. I'm going to leave a legacy. I don't know what I'm going to do, but what I know I'm doing just now is going to be massive. I'm going to leave a legacy so fucking big that people are going to go, wow, how did he do that? I don't even know how I'm doing it. I just know what I'm doing is right.
But I don't think you've made mistakes, mate. You know, I don't think that I have. If I live in paradise and I look out my window and everyone's so fucking miserable, going to jobs they don't enjoy, and they might think they're happy, but Strictly Come Dancing is that what we were put on this earth to achieve? Is 1 hour of that a night, you know, twice a week or whatever. So I'm not trying to sound egotistical, because that's another thing that, you know, you have to stamp out. If you want to find happiness, you got to think, why did I behave like that? Was that ego? And if it was, you got to rein it in, right, James? You know, I know, I know, you know.
The ego's a powerful thing. I've still got ego, still got loads of it, but not as much as I used to have. Like, I'm more financially secure than I've ever been, but I have less, Chris. I still like the finer things in life, and I still will go good holidays and stuff. But right now, it's just about work ethic and creating a brand and creating a business. And if you do something that you love, then you'll never work another day in your life. And I absolutely love, like, speaking to guys like yourself and speaking to people. And it's such an amazing thing to do. And it's just total therapy. And people get to tell their story. Like I say, Chris, we're the new media, brother. You don't have an agenda. We ain't trying to fuck people over. We still have an agenda where we want to be, have a good show and get good views and numbers. But all that's irrelevant when you take away from the fact that it's feeling good after going, oh, that was great. I did that there. We created that. Now your stuff's going to be there for years to come, that people can look back on in 5 years, 10 years and go, well, that all makes sense. Now, the stuff we're talking about might not make sense just now, but maybe 20, 30 years down the line, when people look back and go, fuck me, they knew what they were talking about. They had something different that no one else could see. So, yeah, I believe that what I'm doing is right. I believe what you're doing is right. And we just got to keep creating, mate, and using our individuality and our creativity to be better people.
I just don't think I could have got to the state that I'm at, which is one of happiness and balance, had I not lived the life that I had, James. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I think if I'd stayed like in the military for 22 years, I wouldn't have, you know, I think it's really just interesting the way that we frame things, and how much is it we frame it because we've been conditioned. You know, it's like addiction. Yeah, it's tough. You're going to cry a lot and you're going to have a few nervous breakdowns. Believe me, you know.
Yeah.
But is it an education? Yeah. Is it an experience? Definitely. Do you come out of it a more enlightened? Yeah. So my question there is, well, what's wrong about it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the robbing from people or hurting people. Of course we don't want to do that in life, but some of us have had to go through this phase to find out who we are and what this whole thing is, you know.
Yeah, life's but again, Chris, we're always questioning, aren't we, as well, brother? And we're always seeking. We're truth seekers. We just want to know why we're here and what we're doing here. And sometimes we know the answer, sometimes we can be confused. But that's the beauty of life, mate. You just got to soldier on and then try and embrace it. Try and show a bit of gratitude. That sometimes I can slip away and forget what I actually have instead of concentrating on what I don't have. And I think that's what makes me a little more happier than others, because I'm content. I'm happy with my surroundings. I'm happy with what I'm achieving in life. And the beauty is, man, the best days of our life are still ahead of us, brother. That's the beauty of life. And that's a beautiful thing to keep remembering. Do you know what I mean? We've only just begun the journey.
James, how much does it cost to go down there?
We did a media trade, Chris. So the job was, you do a documentary, we'll pay for all your accommodation. So I believe, though, rev me out, your flights, especially going for the UK, if you stay in America, South America, it's like $200 on a flight, and then it's like $300 a night. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. You're talking like $1,800, $2,000, which is maybe like 1,600 quid. That's all your food paid for. You get your 7 days stay. You get all your massages. You've got a gym. You've got all your smoothies in the morning, afternoon dinner. It's a luxury resort. It's a 5-star resort. It's I know there's places in Amsterdam and Ireland, but for me that made sense because it was medical licensed, and I liked Jerry. The guy Jerry who run it was crazy, and I liked that because he didn't promote it. He's telling you it's painful. He's telling you it's a hard week, and instead of, the guy's a businessman obviously, but he didn't promote it to be easy. He told you it was hard and it's not for everyone, and I liked that. I kind of, okay, well, he's not making it as this is where you're going to get all your answers and this is the best place to ever be. He was telling you it was painful, and it was fucking right, mate, because it was painful. So, yeah, I think it's $300 a night to stay there. You've got your own villa and stuff. It's, yeah.
So that is still a very cheap investment, isn't it? If it truly is going to help you overcome.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, 1,000,000%. And the people who were on the documentary, one of the women says it cured her cancer, and powerful stuff. And the boy Luke, who was in it, who was a heroin addict, he was a male prostitute. He's climbing mountains. He's working. He's still in a good place. It's just, and the guy Reggie, even the boy Reggie, I interviewed, a Mexican boy, and the first night he took it, his relationship with his mum was terrible, and never spoke for years. After he took it, he came out of ceremony and phoned his mum straight away, and now a year later their bond is stronger than ever. So there must be something in it, Chris. I just don't know. Like I say, my trust issues don't make me believe it yet. But maybe if they did, and I surrendered to life, that maybe I would just shoot into the stratosphere and things would be 100 times better. But I'm still unsure. But slowly but surely I'm starting to learn how to trust. I'm starting to give people the benefit of the doubt. That's just hard because I've been ingrained not to trust for so long. Don't trust the police, and I was a liar with the gambling, so I know how people can lie, and I cheated on girls, so I know how people can cheat. So that's karma as well, Chris. All the shit that I've done in the past, I've got to unravel all that to become and break through it, to become the person that I know I can be. Not the completed package, I don't think will ever be complete, but to become the better person that I know that I can be, just work on me every day.
It's interesting, isn't it? In the Bible, not pushing religion here, folks. I'm just I've really learnt a lot from the scriptures, James. You know,
Yeah,
there seems to be at least 3 levels of different messages going on there, from the actual physical story to the esoteric story to the spiritual angle of it. But it was like Jesus, wasn't it? He knew one of his disciples was going to betray him.
yeah.
He kind of accepted, you know, it wasn't, he knew, and he didn't judge that person. You know, he didn't judge that person for it, because he just knew, he understood life, like how people are. And then he knew that other ones of his disciples they wouldn't say a word, and that they would die for, you know, they would end up being executed themselves.
Yeah.
I just maybe.
Yeah, I think that's life though, Chris. You're going to have good friends, you're going to have bad friends, you're going to have, not everyone that comes into my life is going to be amazing, it's going to enhance it. There's going to be sharks that are going to test me, but that's what my growth will become. I just don't want it to make me immune to trusting and make me guarded to not give anyone a chance or not give anyone the opportunity to show their potential, because I think at the end of the day they're going to fuck up anyway, because there's so many amazing people out there. There is really good people out there, and I've got to accept people's past also, because I've got a very colourful past, and it's weird that I can judge others on their past, but yet it's acceptable for me to have a past and make changes. So trust is key for me. It's to learn how to trust and show people that it's okay to have a past, as long as you can learn from it, grow from it. I don't care how old you are, how fucked up your past is. People can change, and they say a leopard can't change its spots, but that is pure bullshit, Chris. I've seen so many people change over the years, and I've seen myself change. Still got a lot of work to do, as I know, identify with everything I need to do to change. But I'm a work in process. I'm a human being. I'll make mistakes, and I'll continue to make mistakes.
You're on the journey, mate. That's the most important. It's the only important thing, isn't it? And once you're on that journey, you can't go back. Even if you want to, you can never go back to the old, you know. I do.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of, I learned a lot about change when I was a drug worker. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Were you afraid at all when you did this? When you drank the ayahuasca?
I was scared, Chris. Yeah, for the first 3 nights, I was scared every night, because it's like when you see people and you see snakes and you see like lions and the ceiling opens and you see shapes and colours, but it was scary, just the fire and the flames and screams. I don't know if it was the screams of the people around me or was it screams of the misery that I'd caused over the years. So I was trying to control it. I'm a control freak, Chris. So I was trying to control the situation, control the buzz. I was wanting to enjoy it, but I couldn't, because they were coming, the shamans would come over and work on me, and then things would change again. And then that's what when they were coming over, I'd feel more pain. It's like I was slipping out of it, the pain. It's like I was running from the pain when they would leave me alone so I could enjoy the buzz and look around. But then they would come over again, and it's like, they would touch my heart and say, "You've got such a strong heart, you must surrender to the pain, accept the pain, go towards the pain." But then they would leave, and then it's like I'd wake up again and look around, and it'd be a great buzz. It would be great because people were dancing. But I suffered, mate. I really suffered, man, the first 3 nights. I suffered hell, brother. Really.
So even though it's like a ceremony,
yeah,
did I see people smoking joints, or was that?
No, that was, it's like a herb over there. They put in like cigar paper and you can smoke it. See, for people who smoke and stuff, it's like, you don't inhale this, but it was just to keep maybe people who are smokers, it was like a herb you can smoke. So yeah, no, it was drink free, it was drug free, it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
And then they blow a thing called rappy up your nose. That was an experience in itself, Chris. They put like a wooden tube and they blow like dust or smoke up it, and that also gives you a buzz. It was nuts, mate. It was nuts. But the people were amazing. Amazing people, man. Just beautiful people. It's like, I felt like I could live there. I felt like if I never had kids or anything, if I never had family, I would be there. I would learn yoga, or I would live there, because it just felt so peaceful and bliss. It felt as if away from all the fast-paced world, because you're meeting different people every week, and there's people who go there and end up with jobs there. It's what an experience, man. What an experience.
And before I let you go, mate, I've got to ask you, Wim Hof, what was that experience like? Did you actually get to meet him?
No. So we do all the cold water exposure. So we go with boys up the mountains here. They say the cold water exposure is good for the mindset. What happens is when you get into cold water, Chris, the first thing you want to do is run away. Get out, run away. Just like life, the first obstacle you come, the first bit of pain, you want to run away. But with the cold water exposure, if you actually just stand in it, breathe, your body adapts to the pain, it adapts to the scare, it adapts to the coldness. Just like life, if you actually just breathe through your trauma, your pain, you actually adapt. Now, they say time's a healer, but at time's not a healer. What is, you just adapt to the pain. The pain's always there, you just learn how to handle it better. I believe anyway, and I'll get Wim Hof on the podcast eventually, but such a great man. He changed his cerebral nervous system, he changed the temperature in his body. They thought he was a freak of nature, Wim Hof. He lost his wife to suicide. And what they did was, they did tests on him, injected him with flu virus. They gave him the cold, but with his breathing techniques, he actually beat it. And they thought it's just a freak of nature. But 20 of his students who he taught, they injected them also, and with the breathing techniques, they beat it. We don't breathe enough. If you get angry, what happens is you stop breathing. So that's where the red face comes in. The air isn't going to the brain. You can't think straight. But if you actually just breathe through trauma, through pain, through anything, that you become more calmer. So the cold water exposure is a massive thing. So for anybody watching or listening, look up Wim Hof, powerful man. And yeah, and I'm doing all these, Chris. I meditate, I do my affirmations, I do my cold water exposure. Yeah, yeah, life is good, brah. Really good at the moment. The best I've ever felt in my life. 36 years on this planet.
Did you go on a course for this, though, James? Was that what I understood?
Yeah, we did weekend courses in Scotland. Hopefully we go to one in Amsterdam. I'd like to make a documentary about Wim Hof and his techniques. He's got a couple on, I think, Vice, which are amazing, but I'll put my own spin to it. And yeah, I'd really love to do a documentary about him and his life and the changes that he's made. And listen, the breathing techniques and the cold water exposure has been here for thousands of years, Chris. He's just found his way and his teaching that he's promoted it very well, that's now helping others. He's westernised it to his advantage, and yeah, and what he does is powerful, it's natural, and it clearly works for him, it works for me. Yeah. So yeah, just doing everything as natural as I can.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, how you got the ayahuasca, which is an ancient herbal medicine. So for the indigenous populations, you've got Wim Hof, who's reminded us the importance of breathing, which we probably would have done when we lived in the nature, isn't it? You know, it would have been a normal thing to be up, active, breathing in the fresh air, being exposed to hot and cold, and the same as we'd be exposed to fasting when we were in the nature. Would have been a natural part of our evolution, would be to go without food and this kind of stuff. And I take that one further, because I talk a lot about alkaline living, eating in line with what you would have done when we were hunter-gatherers, right? And it's nice that all this information's coming back, because it's been hidden, hasn't it, by the capitalists and the corporations and the medical companies. They don't want you to know, you know. Can I tell you? I'll tell you one more interesting thing, James, right?
Yeah.
I had spinal surgery for a prolapse disc. I think I had to have that because I think my disc was beyond repair, right? I don't know, but I was out for a year, and that's kind of long enough to be out of the game when you're a busy guy like I am. I couldn't lie in bed for another year, right? So I had to have the operation. Anyway, but I was told I needed another operation because I've got pain in my in my SI joint. It's called your sacroiliac joint.
Yeah.
And then also I tore 2 ligaments in my knees, or 2 cartilages. Okay. And again, I was recommended operation for that. And I've just given it time, and I try to eat as best I can. I do, you know, a bit of exercise, and it's all clearing up, you know?
Yeah.
2 things that ordinarily I would have gone, yeah, put me down for an operation, get me in as quick as you can and get, you know.
Yeah.
No, I've just given it time, and it's clearing up.
But that's the power of the mind, Chris. The power of the mind. There's a man called Joe Dispenza who is all about changing the neural pathways in the brain, the way you think, the way you feel. He was the same. He did triathlons, was in a bad crash, his spine snapped, or there was something in it. And with the power of the mind, lying in his hospital bed, he kept visualising the spine fixing and healing. And it was like 6 weeks to 8 weeks. He heard a click, and he said he cleared it with the mind. They told me he wouldn't walk again. And now the guy's travelling the world talking about the mindset. The mindset is such a powerful tool, but we can't utilise it properly if we're watching garbage TV, if we're poisoning our body with drugs and alcohol, because our minds they go fuzzy, they go cloudy. So if your mind becomes clear, meditation, breathing, eating right, I can attract anything into my life that I want, because my mind is so pure just now that I believe so strongly in the vibration that will radiate back, it will vibrate back. So the mind is such a powerful thing, and people, when you think about a friend that you've not spoke to in years, they'll pop up, or they'll have that phone call, or you'll see them. The mind is unbelievable. It's a tool it's a muscle that we'll never truly understand, but it's such a powerful tool to have, that we've got these brains. It's just scary that the majority of people don't use them correctly. And we have the power to do so. And I believe with people opening up and speaking out, and social media can be a landmine sometimes. It can be a minefield where it's nuts, but nowadays there's also some powerful tools on it where you can learn and educate yourself at things you wouldn't be taught at school. So yeah, there's a beautiful thing, social media, but you've got to utilise it correctly.
One last question. Did I hear you say you were having a guest on that was going to talk about 9/11?
Yes. I had a conspiracy theorist from New York who was a detective who worked in 9/11. I was supposed to have him on in April, but the lockdowns hold that back, so I'm hoping to get him back on at the end of the year. So yeah, I know you're big in that, so I can pass on your details also if you want a guest on. So yeah, I'm really into all that conspiracy stuff. I smoked a lot of weed for years as well, Chris, so I used to smoke and just go down the rabbit hole. And listen, in life, everything's a conspiracy just now. Everything's a conspiracy. Unless I see things with my own eyes, then it's a conspiracy. You're going to get 2 flips of the coin. People say one thing, people say the other. But for me, I'm open-minded. I'll not challenge people, whether people want to think the world's flat or round, or whether people want to say if the Twin Towers was an inside job or not. I'm open-minded to it all, because I don't know the answers. I'm only getting my answers from things that I read, and it might make sense to me. So I'll go, okay, I believe that, but still, it's only what I'm reading. I don't have the concrete evidence of what Earth is or what happened to the Twin Towers. It's just good to be open-minded and receive all information. And that's what I love. I'm not shutting people down. I don't challenge them unless I have the concrete evidence. So everything's a conspiracy, brother. Everything.
Wow.
Just the open-minded.
When I do my life coaching, James, I'd say to my client, you know, until you can understand, genuinely understand, not just give it lip service. Everything that you've ever been taught is a lie. Everything, your education, your food, your medicine, what you watch on TV, what the news tells you, what people tell you you should be, how you're supposed to act. It's all a lie. And until you can see through that, then I don't think you ever can be free.
Yeah.
It's not like, really, to be honest, it's not like I'm big on conspiracy or anything like that. It's just, ironically, what happened in New York that time, fucking it was a massive big step on my path to enlightenment, to suddenly see how easily you can lie to the whole world and get away with it.
Yeah.
I met the last person to get out the Twin Towers alive.
Mm-hmm.
William Rodriguez. He was the janitor in, I think it was Tower 2. So he had the master key to open up all like the not emergency, but you know, the places the firemen needed to access, the firemen, did I say men?
Yeah.
Firefighters needed to access. He had the key to let them like up this stairway or into this room and that sort of thing. And yeah, and he said the first explosions were coming from the basement of the Twin Towers. This is before the planes hit, right? He said people were coming up in the elevator and all the skin was melted off their, you know, off their hands and off their faces. So yeah, what am I trying to say? Just another big step in my education, James. You know, just another big step. Ironically, ironically, their lie helped set me free.
It's scary, but Chris, the media can control the world. The masses watch the TV, so it just shows you how fast the world can be shut down as well with the coronavirus stuff. How people, boom, shut down, stay in your house, do what you're told. It's scary how fast that can happen. And is this a test run for what's to come, maybe in the future? Is the coronavirus real? I don't have the answers, Chris, but it is scary to think that everything can be shut down because of what you're reading in the media. And again, I question it because I question everything. People, suicide rate in the UK is up by 250%. So people being stuck in the house is actually, so it's, I question everything, anything maybe on the news, I've got people scaremongering, like you'll see people outside their windows, Chris, and their doors banging pots and pans, save the NHS, and then a week later, Chris, they're in tens of thousands protesting and rioting with each other. People jump on the popularity bandwagon as well. I believe there's crimes against everyone on this planet. I believe we're all one. I believe we're all equal. I believe we all should be equal anyway. I believe if human beings actually got together and actually I believe that borders, race, religion, Chris, it's all out to divide the world. And if people are divided, they're easier to control. I just think if people actually opened up their eyes and took a couple of steps back to what they actually believe in and go, fuck me, I was so brainwashed. For me, I'm just going to look after myself, keep my light shining bright and keep doing what I'm doing, brother, because I'm not doing anyone harm. Life is good. Why would I change it? So, yeah, life is amazing, brother.
You're a legend, mate. Absolute legend.
So are you, brother. So are you, brother.
Well,
proud of you.
For anyone that wants to know what's going on in the world, it's really easy. Just read this book. It's really easy.
George Orwell.
Written in 1947, he talks about what's going on now. He talks about the thought police, that they actually, in this fictional book, have police that govern what you think. And we're seeing that now. Look how many people have to apologize on Twitter for a tweet. It's just a tweet. It was just a thought they had at a moment. Sometimes it's very well thought out and it's just fallen on the kind of angry masses. And he talks about the, there's one line in the book. He says, the bombs that fell on London were probably like dropped by the government itself. He's talking about false flag events. Really, really good starting point for people that are a bit lost as to what's going on. I'd say read 1984.
Yeah.
James, listen, thank you ever so much, mate. Just stay on the line a second while I say goodbye to our friends at home.
Okay, brother.
I'll obviously put the links for your podcast and your amazing documentary underneath our video. To everybody watching or listening, massive love to you all. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the Bought the T-Shirt podcast next time. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Hello, friend. I hope this finds you well. My name's Chris THRALL. I'm a former Royal Marines Commando, and I fought my way back from chronic trauma and addiction to live, work and travel in 80 countries across all 7 continents, achieving all of my dreams and goals along the way. Now I pass my simple system on to other people, but I can only help you if you like and subscribe. So please do so, because you get one life, and if you live it right, one is enough.